All right, it is Tuesday, November 23rd. We are gearing up for the holiday season. Thanksgiving staring us in the face. Family, fun, and friends. Our good friend Dexter Manley's in the house. And
I got a question.
You hung on to that question 1 second.
Okay.
1 second, my man. We got to intro the big guy because he's got the lovely and talented daughter Coco in the house. Here's Riggo.
Yes, we do. We are jam-packed today, folks. And Dexter, what is the question? Let's get rolling.
Yeah. Coco, what is your dad going to make for Thanksgiving?
What
kind of bird? What kind of bird?
I think he's gonna make a turkey.
Actually, dude, I shot a crow last night.
He already offered.
I hang around my wife. I eat a lot of crows.
Boom, boom. Oh.
There you go.
He already offered to go shoot a wild turkey, but I think we turned it down. I think he's gonna get a normal turkey from Costco, cook it all up.
Already got it. It's in the fridge.
He's already got it. He's
Had it
already
got it last
one
week.
step
I'm
ahead.
like, like
You going to hunt
else.
for a bird?
He
Well, I
wanted
thought about
to.
it,
Yeah.
but then, that would be fun. That would have been good. But then guess what? Who gets to clean the bird?
Yeah.
And
That's
I've
what
picked enough turkeys in my life to go.
Yeah, I was asking. I was like, don't you have to defeather it and then like skin it and then
Have you watched your father do this?
defeather a turkey?
Yeah.
I think I've seen him defeather a bird, but not a turkey.
Yeah, like a quail or a pheasant. That isn't that much work.
See, I'm a city guy. I don't know what's the difference between a bird and a turkey.
Well, yeah, but you like a quail or a pheasant or whatever. But
Yeah.
Quail's like this big, pheasant's like this big, turkey's like this big.
Yeah.
Approximately.
How big is your turkey going to be?
16 pounds, a little bit over 16. I went for a bigger bird this week.
That's a good-sized bird.
It isn't bad, yeah.
Dexter, you turkey, ham, what do you do?
I do turkey, but I stay away from the pork.
Okay.
It's
How about
funny.
you?
It's funny, Dexter.
I don't. Oh, if I eat pork?
Yes.
No, I don't. We don't have pork.
We don't eat much meat
Yeah,
around
yeah.
that Riggins house anymore.
Oh, yeah,
But
that's true.
what I was going to say, it's funny because this morning when you asked her what we were having, I figured certainly turkey, but we got a cookbook there that made by this, that was written by Hazan is her name, and she's Italian and she's very well known, and I've used a lot of her recipes from time to time, and I went in there to look to see if there was an Italian version of a turkey.
Betty Croccarino.
Something. I looked and that was turkey cutlets was what it had. So I went and I looked on the page and it was you substitute turkey for beef.
Very sophisticated.
Mrs. Hazan did not really get into turkey. When you think of Italian cuisine, when was the last time you were in an Italian restaurant and you
I'll have the
ordered
turkey.
Something.
Dexter likes his Italian food. We know this over the years. Dexter's
Exactly. I'll have the turkey spaghetti, please.
turkey pasta.
Yeah.
Oh.
Since we're talking about cooking, who cooking you like the most? Your father, your mother?
Oh, it's without a question, my dad. My mom probably sets the kitchen on fire. So.
Pardon me?
No, she's not a good cook.
Really?
I mean, she has her
She's
dishes.
got a niche here
but
and there.
I remember one
Boil
time.
water pretty good. And then after that, starts going downhill.
One time I think she tried to cook the turkey or a chicken, and the book said to flip it over, like flip
Turn
it.
it.
Turn it.
She
yeah.
didn't flip the book,
or turn
did she?
it.
No.
No.
It was like this, and so she turned it 90 degrees.
Basically, you're supposed to flip it, the turkey,
Let's hope
like
she doesn't
rotate
watch
it.
No.
You may have to edit that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going to have to talk about
Yeah,
that.
she might have to come.
We've already done enough. We've done enough of this.
Yeah, I love your
we've been given
cooking.
the business. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I love your cooking. It's great.
Well, I do 99.9% of the cooking, so
Yeah.
it's kind of like I win by default, regardless whether you like it or not. It's like you're eating whatever I make. So.
He's a hell of a cook. We know that, Dex.
Yeah,
we've had them vittles before with the Riggins household.
I know.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point where it's really funny because last week, the USO had a big dinner for all the chefs. And all their contributions because and while they were talking about it, because we're talking about the military. When I say chefs, I meant military
Yeah,
chefs.
sure.
And they were talking about how really, when you think about it, and it makes sense to me, how underappreciated that aspect of the military is, because without those guys, and there used to be years ago, and I'm a post-war baby, I'm a baby boomer. They always used to say, I remember hearing, an army travels on its stomach. And there used to be a cartoon, and everybody's like an inchworm on its stomach. And I never understood what they meant, army travels on its stomach. What do you mean? kind of like your eyes are bigger than your belly. You know, it's like, what's that mean? It's like, my eyes ain't as big as my belly. It can't be.
Got to feed them, otherwise it's
Exactly.
Got to feed them.
And so they were all recognized. It was from every branch. There's 7 branches now of the U.S. military. And while they were talking about being under, I started going, hey, I'm feeling a little underappreciated. You know, for 25 years, I've been slinging hash at the Riggins hacienda. It's like people aren't even around when I cook. Coco's up in her room reading. At least Rishi's up reading something. I mean, I got no.
Do you like ring a bell when it's ready?
I feel like
He
an
used
employee.
to. He used to. We have a bell that he rings.
I was joking.
It's, you know what it is? It's like Wishbone used to do on Rawhide. He's got that triangle thing.
Come and get it.
That was her idea. Just, you know, instead of hollering or whatever, just ring the bell and I'll come down.
Yeah.
But seriously, yeah, I have. In the last couple of weeks, I'm going, man, I'm always down here by myself. Nobody's just like they expect food. You know, it's time to eat. And I'm thinking, when you know, if I went on strike or something, then what happened?
DoorDash.
Yeah, yes.
It gets real interesting if you ask me.
We know your other daughter Hannah's discovered the joys of DoorDash
Yeah.
and every other delivery.
Yes, she has. Yeah. So anyway, what are you doing, Dex,
Well,
for Thanksgiving?
yeah, Lily's she don't cook a bird. She just gonna cook something.
But when you say bird, do you mean a turkey?
A
Or
turkey.
chicken?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
it's gonna
I
be-
don't know.
I was gonna say,
Chicken, bird, they're all the same, right?
barnyard buzzards. They're both pretty much the same, really, when
Yeah.
it's all said and done.
Pretty
One's
much.
One's just bigger than the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roast chicken, roast turkey. Take your pick. Or you can get what is it called? Not a pullet. A pullet's a smaller bird. A capon.
You know-
Capon is a turkey, like a steer, or a barrow, which has had his testicles removed. So he gets bigger, fatter, and plumper. Or he can sing a cappella.
He's a lot angrier.
And he can hit some really serious high notes because you know those guys, the Italians, they thought of that. Remember that movie about the Italians where they castrate the guys and then they sing? Way up here.
Get those
Right, dude?
altos. Get those altos.
Huh?
Get those altos.
Yeah, I mean they're soprano. I think they could go soprano. Mezzo
was-
soprano.
I was yeah, very good. No,
Golf
I
clap.
was saying, birds are related to dinosaurs, like the turkey.
I don't know.
It's true. I just read this recently too. I never knew that because they think some dinosaurs they don't know for sure may have had feathers. Believe
Yeah.
it or not.
So on our Thanksgiving Day, we're actually eating.
Dinosaur.
Little
Yeah.
Dino
We're
action.
having-
Yeah.
We're having Bronto burgers, as they used to get.
Brontosaurus
You remember
burger.
that, Dex? Night before. Remember, and Ron Saul was the one I think that invented the term Bronto burger, because we'd have the snack before. You know,
Yeah, oh, yeah.
we'd have the meeting and then you go down to the snack.
Yes.
And
Is this the Saturday night before the game?
Saturday night before the games, and,
Yeah.
and I mean they had these hamburgers that were like serious. They were Bronto burgers. And you know what was really interesting? I can't remember when I first got here, and you weren't. No, you came with Gibbs.
Yeah.
But we used to. They'd have beer down there the night before the game. But then when Joe.
Is this with Jack Pardee?
Mm-hmm, exactly. Yeah. But with Joe, it's like, we got beer on the plane after the game to come home. But eventually, I think they did away with that. But I don't remember
They
if
did
it was
do
while I
away.
was still playing or not. It probably was. But then it was like guys like Grimey had it all. You know, he had a few guys. He had some guys on the staff that were on the take. So Grimey would peel. And next thing you know,
Come here.
exactly. Next thing you know, back of the plane, there was a card game going, and there was all the beer you could drink.
But you never played cards.
No, I wasn't a card player.
Yeah. Joe
No.
T was
You
a
didn't
card
either.
player.
Him, yeah, there were several of them. There was a group like with Russ and I think Curtis Jordan.
Curtis Jordan.
I don't know, Donnie. Did Donnie Warren
Joe
play?
T.
Yeah, Joe T. And Mark May. He
Mark
played.
May. Yeah.
Who was the card shark? Yeah.
I have to say,
I don't know.
I always have to say Joe T seemed to have a knack for the card business.
Okay.
But it always seemed like Mayday was they were the two that played against
Right,
each other. It seemed like he was the one doing all the laughing. Now, was he laughing because he was losing? He's a good loser? I don't know, but he was always crowing about something.
Yeah, you're
What I
right.
recall.
You're
Okay, speaking of laughing, no, not laughing, but feeling good.
Yes. Golf clap for the Washington football
Yeah, they
team.
did. I thought,
Yeah.
Yes, indeedy. 2 in a row. And
No one gave him a chance to beat. One gave him a chance to beat the Giants, but not the Bucks.
I'd go along with that. I didn't really feel like they had they're playing the world champions. They both had it. It's interesting because they both came into the game 2 weeks ago. Well, they had 2 weeks to get ready, right? Because they both had
a bye.
And Tampa coming off a loss.
Yep.
And it was an interdivisional loss.
It's a bad loss
to the Saints. And so, Washington, and I can't remember who, Broncos, wasn't it? Didn't they lose to the Broncos?
Yeah, right.
And, I don't want to backtrack too much, but so you figured that the world champions will be ready to go.
Got to get their mojo back.
But, you got to get, like I said, I thought, and I'd get, just to back up, because Dex ain't been with us for a while here, but to get your opinion, I thought Jonathan
You kicked
Allen.
me to the curb. You kicked me to the curb.
Now,
Dax,
I'm
let me
throwing-
put it this way, Dad. When you were falling asleep at the end of the year last year, I thought you wanted to be on the curb, so that's why I kicked you.
I got to
over.
throw the penalty flag. That's roughing Dexter. That was flagrant.
On me? You're calling
On Dexter.
Yeah,
We
well,
would
so,
never kick the. We'd never kick the Secretary of Defense to the curb for crying out loud.
First
He
of
kicked
all,
me to the curb too, Dexter.
I don't think so.
Oh, don't even get
First of
started
all,
with the world traveler.
I might
over
be
here.
able to kick dude to the curb. Might. I'm not 100% sure I can do that, but Dex, you know as well as I do.
Yeah.
Remember last year when I'd go hunting, he kept worrying about the bears, and I'm thinking to myself, Dexter camping, he hears a bear. And what's worse than the bear hears Dexter, and he goes, "Oh my God, that's Dexter, man! Come on, let's get the hell out of here." So why would you worry about bears? Anyway, get to the curb. No, I was curious. No, I think Jonathan Allen really changed the face of the game against Tampa Bay when he hit Brady early on. Because the one thing it seems to me, and I could be completely wrong with this, that Tommy doesn't like to be knocked around in the backfield at all. He gets really indignant, and I think it changes his game. And I thought that had a big impact. Plus, the whole team, they looked terrible. And Washington looked good. And then now to move forward to Sunday's game, I thought Washington, and this is what's interesting, the very beginning of the game, Carolina gets the ball, they go right there, zoom, zoom, zoom,
Right.
zoom. 7 points. Washington gets the ball back, 3 out. And I'm going, okay, this is
Here we
what I
go
figured.
again.
Yeah, here comes the letdown, which is really, when you look at things, they're starting to, if they know, I know Ron Rivera knows that they've got things going now. It's momentum. This is what carries a team. They've had 2 good outings. On the first one against Tampa, the defense was kind of carried things, I thought. Offense did what it had to, came through when it had to. This last game, boy, I'm telling you what, they got good play from both sides, and they got it at critical times. Of course, at the end of the game in Tampa, it was the offense that drove the ball the length of the field and got in the end zone. And this week, it was the same type of thing. And then the defense was the one that held strong at the end of the game against the Panthers. The one thing you have to factor into this for the old not so fast, to quote Jimmy the Greek, is that Carolina was playing with the quarterback who used to be there, who's new in the system, and I just don't get him as a quarterback. I mean, I'd be curious to know, and I'd be curious to know your opinion, Dex. Ever since I saw that, and you remember the Super Bowl when they played the Denver Broncos and there was a fumble at the end of the game. Do you remember that?
Cam Newton.
And the ball was laying right there, and all.
Oh yeah, he didn't want to. He
didn't want to get in the fray.
He didn't want to jump on.
Nope.
I couldn't get in a huddle with a guy like that. I'd go,
Yeah.
what am I doing here with you? Although I got to admit, I saw Brett Favre do that once too, but he was.
I was lucky to be out there. I was so injured.
Well, come to think of it, maybe I've done it a couple times too. But I was in the huddle. I was in a big pile. Nobody could see me, short arm and things. I was like that. But no, I just don't. He's down there. He's got a new. He's working with a new offense. I don't know. I mean, they've got what? They got Seahawks coming in. The Seahawks got dusted off by somebody last Sunday, didn't they?
Yeah.
not the
Seattle's
team.
struggling.
So
Yeah,
this
they
is,
are.
I mean,
Big time.
and this is what's weird is Washington's they're in a great position. They've won 2 games. What my experience was, and I think I'm hoping it was the same for you more or less, is when you win those games and you win them the way they did, boy, does that give you confidence.
Yes, it does.
It completely changes your outlook.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that they're going to get on a nice run the table. They can run the table and get in the playoffs. I think they got a good shot, a legitimate shot. Plus, with the-
11-6 would do it.
I'm getting ready to say not so fast.
We've missed Dexter
That's
and
big.
his unbridled optimism.
Dude, what do you think? Think they can run the table?
7 games left.
Yeah.
Dude's still charting. She's still working through last week's
Film
game.
breakdown.
Yeah, she's still.
Yeah, I
writing
got
film
some
down.
catching up to do. I gotta watch a couple of games before.
do you
How about
like
a game?
Tyler, Heineken? What's his name?
Heineke.
You like Heineke?
She likes Heineken, but not Heineke.
I know.
Well,
Not 100% sure who that
but
is.
Before we get too far
okay.
afloat, since we haven't seen Coco in a while, we do have to ask about, Trey Turner going to the LA Dodgers. And because we haven't seen you since your little crush, and we didn't get your feedback since you were in Montauk after your, in Alaska on your G6 or whatever,
Exactly. This is the epitome of a jet setter race.
Trey Turner.
Who is Trey Turner?
There you go.
Okay, here we go. Oh,
You
darling.
better take those off. You look like Elizabeth.
Darling.
Coco is Trey Turner.
Theranos?
So Trey Turner, he was the shortstop for the Nationals once upon a time. He was really good.
Star player.
Yeah.
I'm like Dexter.
Prime. Prime.
No,
Right away.
You
I
had a
feel
crush on this guy?
I mean, he has a wife and he has a kid, but I admired him.
You admired his play.
Yes.
Or you
I
think
admire.
he's cute too, right?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah. What does your
But-
mother think about
Trey
that?
Turner, you were talking about?
What's his mother?
What do your mother think?
I knew this
Oh,
would start.
about
she
Trey Turner?
she's in support of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, she's
Nobody knows, dude, that I actually mastermind that trade.
He's like, listen, I'm going to throw in
my
Scherzer as
gosh.
part of the deal. Turner's got to go.
I almost caught one of his foul balls one
I called
time.
Rizzo and said, Rizzo,
Rizzy.
this guy's got to go. He's got to go.
Package
Yeah,
deal.
so I was in Montauk the day I got. Oh my God, it's like gonna make me choked up. I got the news update. It says Trey Turner traded to LA Dodgers, and I was like, what? And the first person I texted was Zach, Hannah's boyfriend, because Zach's a huge fan of the Nats, and he knows my love for Trey Turner. And I texted in all caps. I was like, what the heck? No way did this just happen. I am heartbroken. I took yes.
Well, Coco,
Lot
your
going on.
father knows the owner of the Nationals. Why didn't you go through your father to get to the National and find
That-
why did he trade this guy?
I know, that's a good question. Why?
Yeah.
Why did I have him traded?
No.
Ringo's got the pull.
Why?
What do
Why
you
did
think? I'm number one. I don't want to be number two. I don't play second
No.
fiddle.
Why
That's
did
the way it
you? You
works.
should have pulled some strings
Yeah.
and made him stay.
I did pull strings the other way, though. I pulled him so he could leave.
Well, now Coco's applying to USC, UCLA,
Yes.
Cal Santa Barbara.
Yes.
Think of that.
No, Trey Turner, you will be
Bring him
missed.
Bring him, put him in Philly. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Oh, and Bryce Harper, the dearly departed.
They got a relationship. Well, unfortunately, that did happen, but I'm surprised because here's what's interesting. The year, which was 2 years ago, right, when they won the World Series?
Yeah.
Longer than that now.
Coco was huge. I mean,
3.
you honestly, I was shocked at how big a fan you became of the team. Now, maybe it was just because Trey Turner played. I don't know.
No.
But you watched, exactly. I mean, Coco watched a game where she had to go some night during the World Series. I think it was like Game 6, maybe Game 5, whatever. And we taped the game because she knew they won, but she came back and watched the game, a replay.
It's dedication. That's a fan.
It is. So, dude, now you have to answer this question. So now you trot off the Montauk. You weren't watching no Nats games up there.
Well, I had a job. I was working 9 to 5.
Well, 9 to
What kind
5.
of work
Gee, they
you was
usually
doing?
play at night, dude. They start around
Well,
7
I was
o'clock.
beat when I
good call.
get home.
Good call,
I was
Pops. You gotta
tired
wake
when
up
I
pretty
got
early,
home.
Coco.
Coco, what kind of work you was doing?
I was working at a marina. So I was handling a lot of boat rentals and
Okay.
jet ski rentals.
That's pretty neat. What you learn from that?
Oh, I learned a lot. I mean, I obviously love Montauk, the whole place. I loved it, and then I also love that I learned that I just really love the ocean and boats.
So you go out with your dad on boats sometimes, I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude
Yeah.
came back and she said that she wants to be a boat captain. Now, I didn't know how to take that.
Yes.
It's like, okay. I always write sometimes aim high, shoot straight. But I was going, is that high enough? Yeah. I think you need to elevate
It's just like
that a
the
little.
Somali pie.
But
I'm your captain now.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yes,
think what
I
you
wanna
meant
learn.
by that was you'd like to be able to jump on a boat and take off and go where you wanted to.
Well,
right? In other
I
words-
just want to be a commercial fisherman. So.
oh, now you've taken it to a commercial fishing.
Do you want? She's been watching with that in Alaska. The
Wicked
with the
too.
one of those.
the world's most dangerous.
Well, yeah, world's most dangerous,
yeah.
and any of those.
Most dangerous
Because Dexter,
cat.
you haven't seen her since she
and then
also got
Wicked
back from
Tuna.
Alaska, and she
Right.
saw a bear.
I know, and she's gotten a
Yeah.
lot taller.
I looked it right in the eyes, Dexter.
Look who now?
The bear.
In Alaska.
No. I'm not kidding.
Yeah. Did your dad have his 44 Magnum with him?
No, he didn't. He left
were in
that at
the park,
home.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
You didn't run. See, I would have took off running, but then the bear would have chased me.
Yes, he
Yes,
would have.
yes.
Because as you
You
And they're
well
don't
know,
have to
fast.
run.
what they
Yeah,
say,
don't
Dex,
run. No food on you. They can smell.
Really?
Yeah.
They got one of the best noses. Their nose is better than a bloodhound.
Really, better than a dog.
I think so. Well, bloodhound's like the top
Right.
shelf of dogs, I think. But grizzly bear's got an uncanny sense of smell.
Were you fearful when you saw this bear?
No, I was more excited. I really like
What?
animals, so I wanted to see it.
Right
Yeah.
down to the last bite.
It was.
Tiffany Treadwell felt the same way back when he started his career.
Hello, Mr. Chocolate.
Yes, it is. That's chocolate.
Mr. Chocolate. Mr.
Mr.
Chocolate.
Chocolate was doing this.
I mean, if I was a little close, well, I got pretty close. But obviously, if I was, if you were the bear and you were as close to me,
Well,
then
I am a bear.
You're a big teddy bear, though, Dex.
Yeah, true.
You're a big teddy bear.
Yeah, but go ahead.
But yeah, if I was in the
That's
same
nice, right?
room with no defense or anything, then I'd start getting nervous.
Yeah.
I'd start getting a little
Well,
nervous.
Dex, you know that old saying is food runs. So, once you take off.
Yeah,
there's
that
going,
is something
"Oh,
I always
there's
remember."
dinner, huh?
I always remember that. Like when I'm at the zoo or anything, I'm like,
Well, you know what I did when I was a kid? How old are you? About
I'm 17.
Oh wow, okay. I was in probably seventh or sixth grade, maybe elementary. Do you know I wanted to impress a girl after Bible class? They took us to the park on a picnic.
Yes.
I jumped in the with the hippopotamus. I jumped on the back of a hippopotamus.
What?
A hippopotamus?
Yeah.
A hippopotamus.
I jumped over and got in the water.
big-
And as soon as I got in there, all these people got me out of there.
Yeah.
right, yes,
Dexter,
son.
they're
They- they
incredibly
wouldn't-
dangerous.
I didn't know that.
They would just swallow you up.
Yeah, that's what Lydia told me.
No, let me tell you something about that.
They're really
Because I've
aggressive.
been in Africa and hunted over there, and I was told, plus you can read it anywhere, hippopotamus is one of the most dangerous animals in Africa.
Yeah.
On the
Nobody
planet,
really
right?
talks about it.
How
but
mean they are?
Oh, my God.
Bad
my God, and
attitude. They're not
their
good-looking
bite-
people. They got an attitude.
You're right.
Well, maybe another hippopotamus might get. But yeah, I mean, they're
they
bad
could just
news.
crush. And I've seen videos where they can just, like, the person will throw a watermelon or a pumpkin in their mouth, and they just crush it with
One
one
bite.
collapse.
Well, I jumped in that water and got on his back. I did. The next thing I knew, I was out of there so fast.
We always learn something new
How-
from
you say you're
Dexter.
6th, 7th grade?
Yes, yeah.
Did the girl, was she impressed?
Well, I thought. Well, I don't.
I took it the other way. Said, "This guy's nuts. I have nothing to do with him."
My parents won't let me
I
see
give
him.
him an A for effort there. I mean, that really took a lot of courage.
It's the truth.
That goes beyond courage. That gets into.
Yeah, well, that was
We always
me.
learn something new from Dexter. Never a dull moment.
He's
Yeah,
lucky.
that is-
The most I could have done was that went out and jumped on some steer in the pasture or something. You know, what's going up in Centralia? He was in Houston, right?
Yeah, right.
Buffalo,
gosh.
hippopotamus,
Yeah.
nature, nature.
Yeah.
We do want to get, John, we've been wanting to get Dex in for a while now because we did want to get his take on what's going on with the team. And finally, we saw 2 straight weeks of some solid football. And by any metric, you look at all the categories where they've been deficient, John. Third down on defense, time of possession,
Offensive.
their conversion rates, everything is the best that it's been in quite some time, which is why they've reeled off 2 straights. But prior to what's transpired in the last 2 weeks, be curious to get your take on what the defense is doing well, wasn't doing well, Chase Young and Montez Sweat, et cetera.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, going into the season, they had so much hype about the front seven, and I don't think they were living up to the hype. They wasn't playing up to their capabilities. For some reason, some turn that the interior guys was doing okay. They wasn't getting to the quarterback. They were not getting to the quarterback. I just can't tell you what happened. I just think this quarterback, he's playing sensational. He really is, and I think he's really carried the football team. You know, a lot of, I ain't gonna say a lot.
They kind of have gone the way of Heineke. If he doesn't turn the ball over, if he doesn't, consistently 3 and out, if he doesn't, panic and try to do too much, which he has not done the last 2
he's
weeks.
Brett Favre.
He's been as good as any quarterback in the league the last 2 weeks.
I agree with that.
I think,
Only those 2 weeks,
I
but
was going to say, well, right. You keep wondering, is it going to fall off at any given point. But last week, he advanced his game even further than he had the week before.
There you
I
go.
thought.
He
I
did.
mean, he came up at at moments where he had to make plays. He did make plays. But I also somebody that you can't overlook is McLaurin.
Yeah,
I mean, that
Terry
guy,
McLaurin.
to me, because he made plays that if he doesn't make that catch. And,
Oh, my gosh.
And the throw was a decent throw, don't get me wrong, but still, the degree of difficulty with what he had to do, if you don't make that, then guess what? You got to punt the ball. So there were so many times that he came up with big plays, but at the same time, but this is what's interesting. And they've got, now you're starting to see that they actually have some receivers. And Heineke, he's spreading the ball around.
Right.
I mean, I
Yes.
don't know, did he throw 3 different people caught touchdown passes, I think?
I believe that's correct.
And so, that tells you something right there.
That Sims guy, yeah.
Yeah, he made it.
Yep.
And he caught that in the end zone in traffic. I think it had to go through somebody, past flailing arms and all that stuff. Now they've got really and this is what I was talking about last week, Dex, and I think you would have felt the same way, that having beaten Tampa, that gives you a real feeling, a real rush, like, okay, finally, A, we're getting off that losing streak, and B, they're the world champions. So now you go down and now you're set up because you got 2 ways you can go here. Keep that momentum going, and, you can win in a slipshod game and come out the victor, and so you've still got 2 games, you've still won 2 games, but down deep inside, we got lucky. There wasn't anything lucky about what they did on Sunday. They went out and outplayed Carolina across the board, and so when you look at that on Monday when they had when they did that on yesterday and they looked at the film, they see what they did. They saw how they played. They saw that they outplayed this team. They were ready to play. They wanted to play, and that's the whole thing you build on. And once you get to that level, now they're getting a team. They're getting the Seahawks. That are
Seahawks just lost to Arizona Cardinals, 23-13, with a Colt McCoy-led Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray missed his 3rd straight game, I believe, but Seattle's reeling. Plus, this is Monday Night Football at home.
Yeah. So my point is that, of course, that might be the problem. It's a Monday night game at home. But the way they've been kind of throwing some of those old paradigms out the window, who knows? Maybe they get on top of this game as well. So then they would have won 3 games, and next thing you know, they're right now. They're 4-6 right now.
4-6.
4-6. So that gets them up to 5-6, and then. You know what's weird with that extra game this year? There's a chance for somebody that's been hanging at the back of the pack to start gaining ground on some of these teams. You see it every year. You see teams that come in and all of a sudden right out of the blocks you go, wow, Buffalo seems to be one of them. That they were like steamrolling, and now all of a sudden they've got issues.
Tennessee gets
They got beat by the Texans. Right, Dex?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, this league. So you had 4 first-place teams losing last week: the Bills, the Titans, the Cowboys, and the Packers.
And the week before, it was the same type of deal.
It's unbelievable. What do you think about parity, Dexter? Do you like this, or do you like all these types of upsets, or would you rather see a couple of just teams that
I like
really
the
got
upset.
it going on?
I like the upsets.
Okay.
See, I'm just the opposite.
Yeah, I like the upsets.
You got to have Goliath. I mean, that's where drama is. You got to have a bad
That's where
guy.
winning is.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
for all you bettors out there, you might want to just sit a couple of weeks out, see how this thing shakes out, because it's bloody out there right now. There are no sure bets.
Who's your favorite football team? You like the Redskins, Washington, or do you care for football?
I genuinely don't. I don't really care for it. So I only know like 2
She's
teams.
tired of me talking about war stories.
I mean, I guess it'd have to be Washington.
Well,
Because
Well,
I live in the-
speaking of war stories here, because I got a couple, but before we seg into that, so Monday Night Football, couple extra days for the Washington team to get right here. So what do you think the line is?
on what, the game with them?
Seattle Monday Night Football.
Oh, I'm
at
going to
FedEx
say Washington
Field.
-3.
Oh, I don't have.
That's right. Dexter doesn't
I don't-
partake in this.
I don't have idea.
This is fascinating. That line opened up yesterday at Seattle -3.5. And as of today, Tuesday the 23rd in the afternoon, it is Washington giving 1. So the line is swinging completely the other way.
How that happened?
Well, injuries, because the newness of what had transpired after Sunday's games, and more that, trust me, Vegas says we've seen time and time and time and time again. They're pretty doggone good. But I could see that getting bet up, John, to Washington -3 or 3.5.
Yeah,
Seattle's reeling.
I was going to ask, though, when you look at how that they arrive at those numbers based on the game's already played on Sunday. Yesterday's Monday. But you're saying more information keeps coming in, and that line keeps changing.
Exactly. Who got dinged? Who's out? Who may be out?
So if I got a bet on Seattle on when the line first
Then that's
comes
what you
out,
got.
That's what I got.
That's what you got.
So as the line changes during the week, that whatever you get is what you get.
That's
when
where
you
you
get
find
it.
when you hear the sharps, the guys that are really plugged in. You see them make a lot of early in the week moves like that because
they see where they've got
the value.
They got value.
Value.
But I will say, I think
dude?
Seattle's defense
yeah.
is very suspect.
Oh yeah, they're nothing. The
yeah.
entire Pete Carroll's under the gun out there right now, and he's everybody. They're getting snippy. It's kind of like we were around here about a month ago, 3-4 weeks ago. A lot of snip. All right.
Do that now.
All right. Yeah, because I got to ask you guys about this. We stumbled across the archives here and the John Riggins fan page and on Facebook. We get some really interesting shots here. And I saw this a couple of weeks ago, and I just started cracking up and laughing. So here's the two legends. Now, you had to be very young, right?
I was.
You remember about what year that would have been? 82, 83?
83.
It looks more like 83 just by the look on my face.
So now, did you ever use oxygen before you came to Washington and before you saw John Riggins do it?
Never.
So
We never had it in Kansas. I mean, I don't even think the Jets had oxygen. Maybe they did. I can't remember.
well, you were legendary for it. So in this particular picture over here, it's like you were looking at him and busting on him. You're like telling him a joke or what's going in your mind?
This is why you play football, guys. This is why you play football.
Yeah.
Because this is literally while the battle. Now, what's interesting, Dex, is we're both on the sidelines. Was the defense on the field or was the offense on the field? I couldn't tell you really. Or you know what I think it was? Maybe it was. I'll tell you what it was. It might have been. From the look on my face, it was probably the second half of the
Rams game, and it was in the bag.
Yeah,
the game was in the bag.
50 something or whatever. So both of us were out of the game by then.
Yeah, I want to be very candid with you guys.
You what?
Candid.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. 83. That's when I started using drugs.
83.
Yeah, and so I would get winded, and that's when I started doing this oxygen.
But you know what, Dex? I found out it's like a placebo. It really doesn't do you any good breathing oxygen like that. You can only take so much. We can only take so much oxygen out of the air. I just read this book. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was.
It's a misnomer.
I
So
thought
it looks good.
You thought he was Superman?
Well, I liked it, but even that being the case. But now, obviously, it's cold weather because I got the thing over there. But during the summertime, when you played in September and early October, and you could or go to Miami or Tampa and some of those warm weather places, they run the oxygen through ice, so it's like cold air. It's cold. That part is nice.
Ice cold.
This is what I read. That actually, all the stuff helping hangovers and all that stuff. How flight attendants will go and hit the oxygen before they fly because they drank too much the night before. I think that's.
How about the B12 shots in the ass?
Once again, probably it's just more. Like that really became superstition, really for the most part.
Really, for you?
I take I take aspirin. I take a couple of aspirin. I take what are those things for Sudafed?
Nasal.
Sudafed, was it Sudafed?
Yeah, Sudafed that open up the sinuses.
What color? Those little red.
Those are the red ones.
Yeah, and
Okay, I take a couple of Sudafeds. Take that, and to get a B12 shot. I was good. Dex had a little bit different program than he went through, but basically we were heading in the same direction.
This was a
He had a different ritual.
It was a different color.
He had a different ritual.
That's probably all we need to say about that.
Yeah, we're just going to be moving
that was a
past that.
Rams game.
I'm just saying if it was, but it very well could have
It
been.
looks like it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway, I showed up late for practice that week. I didn't even show up one day. I think I missed Thursday's practice. Wasn't a Friday.
Is that right? Well, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
That isn't where you ran into a truck out there on the road, is it?
Yeah, that was another incident. I learned this stuff from you, John.
Wow. Gosh.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
You know about your father.
See?
Yes.
Now, see, this is what
No,
Thanksgiving is all about. The
Yeah.
memories
Family
as
and
we got
friends.
family and friends around.
Yeah.
Dexter, any closing thoughts?
Well, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful I weathered the storm. I came through them.
That is a good one to give thanks for.
Yeah, I'm thankful for that.
Dude.
Oh, I mean, I'm just thankful, like, for my friends and family, of course, and
Very nice.
yeah, and my cats.
I'm just thankful that the world got to see John Riggins. That's all I'm thankful for. And with that, it's Riggo out.
Okay, I like that.